Hello YouTube viewers. I'm in the middle of restoring a 1971 BMW R75/5. It's my first vintage BMW, my first shaft drive bike, and it's been a learning experience. So thanks to a lot of information on the internet, I'll leave some links in the description of this video, and a lot of reading on forums. I'm starting to figure this stuff out. It's all new to me, but it's interesting engineering. BMW, this is a rear bearing stack out of the rear hub. This bike was in pretty bad shape when I got it, so I needed to check the bearings out, and the only way to check this right side bearing, this is the bike as if the hub was on the bike. That's the front, or this, can't see my hand, but anyway, front, rear, and this is what the bearing stack looks like. There's an inner spacer and an outer spacer. Inner spacer and the outer spacer, and there's something called a wedding ring. It fits right in there, a little depression. This is what I mainly had problems with. I just couldn't figure out, I couldn't get the bearing preload adjusted, and I also wanted to inspect this bearing, which you can only inspect by removing the bearing stack from the hub. The bearings look good. I wish I'd done this video before I went ahead and packed the bearings with grease, but I wasn't. It's just kind of a last minute thing. And these bearings have been in the freezer all night, so they're freezing cold as well. Now when you remove the bearing stack from the hub, you have to heat up the aluminum hub. I used a torch, whatever. You have to get up to, I think, around 200 degrees. Now the axle usually goes in the rear hub this way, and that's how it's mounted on the bike. But to remove the hub, you flip it over and you insert it this way. These are called top hat spacers, and they're actually different orientations. So when you remove the hub from the bike, it'll actually look like that. Top hat spacer is the wide end inside. It's designed that way. It can't just fall out of the hub, or it's frozen in the hub. Got the donut in there. Just making sure. These bearings are actually in good shape. It's my first. I'm used to these kind of roller bearings on trailers. I've never seen a motorcycle with roller bearings. Most motorcycles use ball bearings, but I think these will work just as well. I mean, trailers are pretty reliable vehicles. Okay, well, there we go. That's how it goes. And to hold the bearing stack together, when you knock it out and when you place it in, you can get a nipple, just a plumbing pipe nipple. I think it's 3/4 inch by 4 inch. I had to cut it down some, cut about half the threads off. This is brass as well. I was wondering if brass would be too soft. I couldn't find a steel one, but it worked just fine. Man, I should not have greased this thing. This is not gonna. It's more trouble than it appears to be worth. But anyway, that's how the bearing stack goes together. And again, this is going to go it's going to go in the left side of the hub. I'll video that as well. Shouldn't be as messy. Again, if you make a video, don't grease the bearings first. Okay, next step will be the heating the hub and inserting this in the hub. I'm going to tighten this to about 10-15 foot-pounds just to hold the stack together while I pop it in there. And to make it easier on myself, this is going to be, I'm going to place this back in the freezer. I want it as cold as possible. Hopefully with this as cold as I can get it in my freezer and the hub heated, aluminum heated with a torch, 200 degrees, this will fall right in. Okay, this is the hub, rear wheel, BMW R75/5, 1971, short wheelbase. That's the right side, the brake disc side, and the left side, the side that I'll be inserting the bearing stack into. I took a paper towel and cleaned out down in there. Looks like there's two ridges that when it contracts, it basically sets against or freezes it in the bearing stack in the hub. It's pretty good in there. I mean, no real wear. The bearing didn't spin in the hub, so I'm happy about that. I hear that's a problem. These old bikes, if people get the bearing preload messed up or too tight. Again, there's links in the description of this video about how to set the preload, and I'll refer to that for setting the correct preload. Alright, the next I'll be heating up the hub. I'll be using a propane torch, and I don't like to, when you're heating up this aluminum hub, you don't want to you want to expand this section, center section, but you don't want to just heat this section. I mean, aluminum is very conductive, and it'll conduct the heat evenly, pretty rapidly, but still I like to just go all around and try to heat as evenly as possible and not just focus on this section. Again, I'm going to heat it up next, and then I'm going to beat the hub in, and this video should be done.